George R. R. Martin has said that clues to the ending can be found all the way back in Book 1, and I got a new clue for you today. They did not show us this clue in Season 1, but they gave us the same clue over in Season 6, over in Bravo, so it may play a part in the ending to Game of Thrones Season 8. But real quick, please let me thank Celador and Bean Dip for All, or Courtney, for becoming channel members, and Maria Kerrigan and Janet Miller for helping in the campaign to save a child's life. Thanks, guys. Alright, as you guys know, I strongly believe that Arya Stark will take out the Mountain in Game of Thrones Season 8. There are a lot of clues that foreshadow both why it's her and how she does it. How will she do it? Dagger to the face. I'll get to that another day. But stabbing him in the face like she did to Sir Meryn Trant in the show? It's not going to be that easy, cause the Mountain...
He's freakish big and freakish strong. And quicker than you'd expect for a man of that size.
So let's look at something that Arya Stark needs to do first, before stabbing him in the face with the Valyrian steel dagger. According to Bronn, the key to defeating the Mountain is to
dance around until he's so tired of hacking at me he dropped his sword. Get him off his feet somehow.
It's the strategy that Bronn said he'd use in both the books and the show. And it's the strategy that Oberyn did use in both the books and the show. So if Arya battles the Mountain, it's the strategy that she should use too. Arya needs to get the Mountain off of his feet. And if I'm right, the way that Arya does this is going to be sick. Do you remember when Arya ran away from the waif, or rather, when Arya ran away from her own split personality, depending on how you interpret the waif? Well, in that chase scene, Arya showed off some parkour, jumping off the balcony, sliding under the cart, and jumping off the ledge here. Nailed the landing. Arya did some hardcore parkour. The show writers may have given us this for a very specific reason. Let's go back to Book 1, where George R. R. Martin said that we can find clues to the ending. Well, at the start of Book 1, Arya had a nickname, Arya Underfoot. Fat Tom called her that because that's where she always was. She was in the way. She was underfoot. Well, one time, down in King's Landing, Arya was really upset. So she runs back to her room. She just wanted to be alone. But Fat Tom, the man who had nicknamed her Arya Underfoot in the first place, he was guarding the door to the Tower of the Hand. And as Arya ran up, Fat Tom reached down to grab her, but Arya slid through his legs. So that's the clue from Book 1. They did not give us that in the show, but Arya did the same thing in the parkour scene, right here. And in the books and the show alike, Arya passed under the legs of another giant, the Titan of Braavos. But pay attention to how the Titan is described in the books. Quote, the Titan of Braavos. Old Nan had told them stories of the Titan back in Winterfell. He was a giant as tall as a mountain. A giant as tall as a mountain. Subtle wordplay, but clearly it's connecting the Titan of Braavos to the Mountain. So here's what I'm getting at. There's a chance that they showed us this parkour slide in Season 6 so that when Arya does the same thing to the Mountain in Season 8, when she slides under his legs, fans won't get all up in arms like, where did that come from? Because we've already seen her do it. She slid under Fat Tom's legs in the books, and she slid under the cart in the show. And when Arya Underfoot slides under the legs of the Mountain in Game of Thrones Season 8, it will be the second time that Arya's passed under the legs of a giant as tall as a mountain. As Arya slides through his legs, expect Arya to slice the Mountain's ankles to get him off his feet, because that's how you beat him. It's the strategy that Bronn said he'd use, and it's the strategy that Oberyn did use. Once the Mountain's on his back or even his knees, Arya's going to toss the dagger from one hand to the other, shove it in his face through the slit of his visor. But there are a lot of clues for that, enough for a full video, so we'll save that for another day. Alright, I'll talk to you.